Hey everyone, welcome back to the Rosales Media for Change podcast. I'm your host, Miguel Rosales, and I'm really excited for today's episode. Today we've got a special guest, Hans, who's been in the t-shirt screen printing game for over 20 years. He started back in high school and turned his passion into a successful San Diego-based business. He's got a lot of knowledge to share about entrepreneurship and staying creative. Let's get into it. I wanted to start off with asking you, could you tell me a little bit about your business and what kind of things you sell or your services?
Yeah. I do custom printing. So like I do shirts that other people like already have art already generated. It's like their business. So a lot of times it's like, just like their whatever their logo is already kind of prepared for the most part. I'm kind of just taking it and making it as print ready as I can and then getting it onto a shirt for them.
Got it.
But I also do, I do education. Like I do screen printing, like training. I used to do work a lot with like foster youth and stuff like that when at my previous job, um, like on the job training and stuff. Um, and like I do live printing and event stuff. So like I do a little bit of everything. I also have my own shirts that I sell on my website and stuff like that too. So
That's
no shortage of work.
that's really cool. So, is it that people come to you, to your shop or online, and they submit their either their design, image, and then you quote them on that for the screen
Yeah,
printing?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's pretty honestly like I've been in the industry now for like I mean, it's been like about 20 something years. So like I know a lot of people. I know people who just are constantly like, when they get something they need printed, they're like, you're the first person I want to hit, to print it for me or whatever. So I mean, it's like I'm very lucky in the sense that like I don't do a lot of advertising, don't do a lot of marketing. I have like a very committed and very loyal client base that I've just kind of built like over time, just naturally, just being in it and just also doing a lot because like I do
Yeah.
education, I do live stuff, so it's like I'm all over the place. And I think for that reason, I get people know me like they know me by by the prints,
Yeah.
um, uh, and I'm stoked about that.
And you were telling me a little bit when we met a few weeks back. You're telling me how you got into the t-shirt printing business all the way back from high school. So
Yeah.
could you tell me a little bit more about why you started your t-shirt printing business and what was your journey from when you started?
It was actually pretty simple. Like honestly, it was like I had always so like I was actually interested in two different things. It was like in high school it was photo and screen printing. So I was like always into photography and it was really at that time it was kind of the beginning of digital. So like people were like I was still developing in like a lab. I was doing the yearbook photography and stuff like that. I just like didn't understand how to monetize photography, and like as soon as I turned 18, I was like, I can make shirts and I can sell them for like 10, $15,
Yeah.
and that's just how I started. It just was very easy to find a way to make a sort of income. It was very much at the time I was working at the post office, so I wasn't like a full-time screen printer, but it was like something that I can do on the weekends in my garage and do a little bit and make a little bit of money at 18, and it was just extra money for me. Like it's just seemed like a no-brainer to do the screen printing. I still do photography, but I love both. I just know how to make money in printing. It's just always been there.
Got it. That's really cool. And I really like how you started all the way back in high school. I think it's really cool hearing about that.
Oh yeah.
And so you were talking about how in high school you wanted to monetize photography. So is
Yeah.
that kind of what you focused on throughout high school and then beyond that?
I mean,
Or what kind of things did you?
I always printed. Like I've always done printing. As far as photography, it's just like it was just a strange time. Like because I just was like, are people gonna do digital now? Like, do I need to get a digital camera? Do I need to get like should I stay with film? Like, there was like a lot of like unsure, like unease about the whole industry in general at the time, and I just was like. felt very uncertain about it. And I just was like, I know that for every shirt I make, I can probably make 15 bucks, you know? So I'm like, I know that's like I can bet on that. You know, I can do that. I started right away. The first thing I started doing in high school was like making bootleg band shirts. You know, I was just like doing like bands that like punk bands that I liked and just different stuff. Like some of them were like just directly rip-offs of their logos. Some of them were like slightly edited versions of their logos that I was doing. And it was just really easy, you know. Like, I think that's it. It was easy and fun. You know, I actually I really enjoyed it. There was like a lot of problem solving involved in it that like I just, you know, I really enjoyed kind of figuring it out.
Yeah.
Um, and I kind of never really stopped doing like kind of problem solve. I've always kind of gone to like more and more advanced forms of printing, like throughout my career. Like I started out doing pretty much just plastisol printing, which is just like very traditional, very standard style printing. Um, Going into like where I what I do now currently, which is more like fashion forward style printing, which is using kind of more technical inks. So like the inks themselves are like they just require a little bit more of understanding on how to use those particular materials just to get it to like fire off right and like the colors looking good and stuff. Because like that's kind of what I do now is I do a lot more like discharge printing and water-based ink printing. And even I've done paper, you know, I've done posters and all sorts of stuff, you know, like I've kind of always found a challenge in printing. I think there's always some new thing that needs to be figured out. And I feel like that to me has always been like my love of printing. I keep every time I think I'm bored and I'm done, like there's something else and I'm just right back into it as interested as I was the first time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really cool. And so in high school, was there anything that you think gave you an advantage to where you are now? Because I think it's really amazing, like your passion that you found. And from what I'm hearing, you mean you love t-shirt printing, anything
Oh
creative,
yeah.
anything with photography. So is there
Yeah.
anything that really introduced you to that and kind of gave you a boost on that?
You know, I honestly like, and it's funny because like I talk to friends about it still too, because it's like I'm always like somebody's got something that they do, I'm like, okay, well, how can you make money at it? You know what I mean? Like I've always, my head has always been that way. You know, like I think that, you know, I was born a hustler before that was a thing. You know, like I was just always just I gotta always be figuring out how to like make it like work for me, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that you really need that kind of drive, I think, with art when you're trying to sell anything, if it's anything that you're trying to do, anything. I think that's that internal drive for like trying to figure out how to like take these skills and make them bring you back something even more, you know, give you back more than you ever put into it, you know, which is what it has done for me, you know, like
Yeah.
that's what I mean, that's what I've found in it. And I honestly, I think almost anything anyone does, as long as you put all of yourself into it, I think you're going to be as good as anyone, the best, you know? I think
Yeah.
always.
Thank you so much. I think that's really great.
Yeah, man.
And I really like that mindset on being able to monetize anything because I think that's something that everyone should think about, especially if they really find a passion in something.
Dude, 100%. I mean, in this today, dude, it's like everything is kind of a hustle, you know? It's like it kind of we're all like got our gigs and our side gigs and our hustles, you know? It's like I think that that hunger, that drive, you know, it's like something that it'll fuel everything that you do. You know what I mean? If you just
Yeah.
look at things in that way.
And so you were talking about a lot about your career and how you got there. But what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced on your journey of 20 plus years of the t-shirt industry?
Gosh, I mean, honestly, I guess like really like the hardest. I mean, I think for me, the hardest thing has been the business side of it. You know, I've never been, and I think that's like, you know, I think that's like everybody. You know, everybody likes the fun stuff, and they don't really like the stuff that really just doesn't. And that's the thing is the business side of it has not always been like my favorite thing. You know, I've struggled to be like better about it, to get it all reined in and make sure that it's all working properly. And I think that that is just, I mean, I have pretty bad ADHD. I think that I struggle with like just getting myself to like focus on like just these like things that just really don't interest me. There's a lot about a business that is really fun. And then there's like a lot of things about a business that is just, it's work. It is just work. And a lot of that is like, bookkeeping, client management, making sure that I'm following up, making sure that I'm checking in, making, all that stuff. It's just, that's not the stuff I love. I've found it off and on challenging. But, I think that I try to find the fun in just about everything, and like this, the career has given back so much to me. I don't mind doing a little bit of that work just to make sure that all of that stuff is right and that I can continue to do it.
Yeah. And so now that you mentioned that, um, because I think from what I've heard from you so far, you've kind of spent your whole life doing more like the creative stuff, photography, t-shirt printing. So when
Yeah.
it came to actually running a business, how did you learn how to do all the bookkeeping? All, I guess there had to be some sort of marketing, whether it was you talking to just people you know
Yeah.
and trying to get people to buy. How was that process for you? Was it a lot of learning that you had to do? Any classes that you had to take? Or was
You
it
know,
just,
I never took any like business courses or any kind of like tax anything. I've never taken anything. I've Googled a lot. Like I'm just like I honestly I Google and ask people who know. I have friends who are very successful and they're able to like manage all these things and I just ask them what they do. I think that a lot of it is like they don't know everything. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff. Screen printing, I'm really great at. There's all sorts of things that I'm not super great at. And I think that like knowing that and like being able to cover those gaps is really just, I think, number one. You know what I mean? I think that if you can recognize that there's something that's lacking and you can fill the gap in some way, that's really all you need to do. You don't need to be great at it. You know what I mean? I think it's just knowing and then trying. I think, is a lot of it. I had a lot of, there was a lot of I think that I've had a couple businesses. Like I've started a few of my own screen printing. And I think now I've kind of found like a stride. And a lot of it is, I don't do my own taxes. I send them out. That's like one of the things. It's like I'm not good at that. Like I've got a guy who's like my friend and like he hooks it up and like I do that. It's like I'd rather leave the work to the professionals and then do the work that I can, and I think that there's a lot to that, I think. Yeah. I know the marketing stuff, it's funny because I used to do so before I started the business that I currently have right now. I was doing all the in-house screen printing for Modern Times, the brewery. And so like they honestly promoted the heck out of me. Like they actually gave me they called me the Prince of Prince. And they would put me out on the like at their events and I would do live screen printing event stuff for them and I also did the interior design for them too. Like so I did like their interiors and like fabricated the build out stuff and like um they were they had like locations in Portland and Santa Barbara, LA, three of them here in San Diego, and we did all the interiors ourselves. We fabricated all that stuff, made it. A lot of it I incorporated printing, so like the bar facades would all have screen printed tiles that I did myself, and we installed them ourselves. Um, and like I've done a lot of different things, and all of those things I feel like come back to this. It all ends up being really like, how do I turn this into a way to showcase my screen printing? And that's like what I always try to do because it's at the end of the day, like screen printing is my strongest skill. It's like it's the thing that I know how to do best. And I can almost incorporate it into just about anything that I do in certain ways, and I think that that's to me, I think that's a really valuable skill is seeing the commonality between different things, understanding how you can incorporate them, and then figuring out how to make them just showcase both of your talents, like just by existing. I think that's like a tough thing. And I think it's a cool thing. I think that people are often really impressed by it, and I've liked that part of it, showcasing that.
Yeah, I really like that. And so for you, what was the process like for scaling? Because you said you had started many t-shirt printing businesses. So
Yeah.
how was that like? Was it kind of an easy process to kind of take a step back?
They
Or
all started different. Like I think that like it's like they all were like different stages in my career. So like my first one, it was like I just needed a business so that I can have a seller's license so I can get shirts. And I wasn't doing everything right. I definitely wasn't claiming everything, I wasn't doing all the things that you're supposed to do. And like slowly and slow, and I think that's kind of like that's just how I learn. A lot of it is like I feel and like just kind of get my hands in it and see what to do, what I don't like, and I try to be better the next time. And I think that this iteration of my business has been like the best. They've all been like different names from different periods of time of just my life and what I was doing at the time. Um, so like I think now I feel like I've kind of hit it. Like I'm things are good. Like the work is there. Um, I'm on track. Everything is going in and out the way it should. It's like I think this is for the first time really in my career. It's really things are good. And it took a lot of trial and error and like kind of figuring out what was and wasn't going to work for me.
yeah, I really like the process that you went through. And I was curious, so like you said, now in your career, things are going really well on your businesses. And what does the future look like for you? Do you want to start taking more steps back from your businesses and kind of just overlook them and hopefully scale more? Or what's your overall goal that you're looking to aim for, say, for the next 5 years?
You know what? I honestly, one of the things that I feel like I have like I've in where I'm at now in the business, I have a little bit more free time to actually go ahead, and I was thinking about maybe going back to school, maybe doing, like I said, a business course. Like even I was thinking about even getting a design degree, so I can actually like offer more branding and design work for people as well. And I think it's like, and for me, it's always been like about how do I add value to what I have already? Like I think that if I can offer more design services through my company, I'll just retain that much more work. I think that I'm gonna probably in the next 6 months, I'm gonna probably get a sticker machine. So I'm probably gonna start doing more stickers, trying to get out and get some more sticker work. So hopefully that's something that really goes well. And probably going to be doing film services, so like offering like working people's film in order to make them the most printable versions that it can get, and like selling people film. So that would be working directly with more screen printers. So like I mean that those are like the directions that I'm probably going to go with all of this right now. As far as like anything else, I mean, I'm always trying to do something. I mean, like a lot of it, I want to do more of my own shirts, I think, coming up. Sell some of more of my own designs, like get more of my stuff up on the site, maybe promote some of it more. You know, I, I don't really do a lot of advertising, a lot of marketing or anything like that, like I said, but I think that like this year, I'm probably going to try to do a little bit more of everything, customer facing, more than likely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. And I really like that how you want to start taking it to the next level. Like you said, just start slowly improving everything. I think that's really, really great.
Yeah, man, I think it's like that's the thing is like there's always something. Like I think that you can always do something. And I think it'll help you land on your feet. I mean, as we live in a world, it's like you never know what's gonna happen. And this year is kind of the crazy, it's crazier than ever. It's like the more you can do, the more skills you have, and the more proficient you are at them, I think the more likely you are to land on your feet. And in any way, in any situation, whether your business goes well or not. And some things I don't have control over. I mean, the economy I can't control. You know, whether or not people have money in their pockets to buy shirts, I can't control. You know, it's like it's just that's I'm just here for it. You know, like
Yeah, I love that.
yeah.
And so my main target audience for this show that I'm doing right now is for high school students. And what's one thing that you would want high school students to take away from your journey in your career? If you could have them learn one thing.
I think trust yourself, trust your skills, and trust the things that are fun. I mean, that you want to do. I mean, because honestly, the only reason I'm good at screen printing is because I've done it for like thousands and thousands and thousands of hours, you know? And you don't want to do something for thousands of hours that you hate, you know? I think that's like I think money comes when you work hard, and that can be anything. You know, I don't think it needs to be a hedge fund. I don't think it needs to be in some corporate thing. I think it's just work hard, you know, work hard, do what you want to do. If you do something you like, you're going to be more likely to get good at it. You know, I do think that, you know, I believe that, you know, I think that's like truthfully like the best. I mean, because that's what I did. I mean, that honestly, that's the only thing I can really speak to, you know, and
Yeah.
that's what I did. I trusted myself. I'm not like the most successful business person in San Diego, you know, but I'm happy. You know, I'm in the, and what I do is I believe is great, you know, and I love it. You know, I don't I don't know what more you could ever want in life, really. You know, it's like I feel very very satisfied in the work that I do, you know.
Thank you so much. I think that was a great answer, and I
Oh,
really, really like that.
yeah, dude.
Before
This
we
is
start to close off, is there anything else you wanted to share? Anything that you like to share about your journey, or anything that you think I missed?
um I don't think so. I mean, I just I say like you know, I would say don't be discouraged by the things that are that you don't take things personally. I think that like a lot of it, you know, it's like it's not a personal defeat if you're not successful at your business. Do you know what I mean? Everything. Ultimately, we aren't these businesses, you know. We are just those businesses should serve us, you know, that shouldn't it shouldn't make us feel less than, it shouldn't, you know, all these things. I just you're gonna fail. You know, I've like I said, I'm here saying I've had about three businesses total. You know, two of them no one's ever heard of. You know what I mean? It's like you're gonna have you're gonna have trouble. You know, just don't give up. Just keep trying. Reassess. Is it something you like? Are you enjoying it? You know, I think that's like those are like the most important things. I think you know, we got to have fun. You know what I mean? It's like I think it's you know what's the point if we're not? You know, I think at the end of the day, you know.
Thank you so much. I really
Yeah.
like what you shared. And if people wanted to find you here in San Diego to find your t-shirt printing business, where can they reach you at, or what website can they visit?
Check out my site. It's the Prince of Prints. It's kind of hard to. It's better on paper, not so
Yeah.
easy to say. But you can find me at my site, the princeofprints.store. I have stuff available on there that I've done. I've got some showcasing some of the stuff that I've done as far as build outs and fabrication. Um, there's a little bit of everything in there. And you know, look out for me. I'm like at live events. You know, I do, you know, I'm printing out in the streets. There's an event May 17th. It's called Golden Palooza, and it's like a music and arts festival. And I'll be live screen printing at that.
Is that here in San Diego?
Yeah, yeah, it's over in It's in Golden Hill. It'll be at the Golden Hill Rec Center. My daughter goes to school at the at the school over there. So I try to like get involved with the school stuff as much as I can for her school. So I'll always be like, you know, volunteering my time as much as I can. But you can catch me out there. Um, you know, I'm probably be doing I don't have anything scheduled, but I'll probably be doing some fairs and farmers markets, stuff like that. I sell like my own stuff, stickers and things like that too. Um, but yeah, Otherwise, hit me up for custom shirts, if you need anything, or even if anybody that watches or follows, if they're interested in like learning a little bit about screen printing, if they were to tell me that they heard about it from this podcast, I would walk them through. I'd give them an hour of just talking about whatever it is if they had any questions about it, like I'd happily do it.
Thank you so much. You've
Yeah,
been
man.
amazing today. I really
Yeah.
liked all the advice you gave, and especially your story. I think it's really, really unique. I've never heard anyone have so much passion for something, and I really admire it from you. So thank you so
Thanks.
much.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited for the podcast, dude. You gotta let me know when it airs. I want to check it out.
Yeah, I'll definitely share it with you.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
and probably gonna make some short clips too as well.
Okay, rad. Cool, man.